Hi everybody, how's it going? Hello and welcome. It's Friday and we're here as we almost always are. And we're here to rank 8-bit Nintendo games. Unprecedented, I know. But this is I believe the 63rd installment? Right? Yes. But up first, I finally found one of these. I finally tracked down a Welch's Grape Ghost. And I'm excited. I'm excited to try one of these. I bought 2 of them. That's how excited I was. So it's time to get time to wrap my lips around this Grape Ghost. I don't know. That doesn't... Something about that seems wrong. Some T-bone steak, cheese eggs. Welch's Grape Ghost. That smells like a grape soda. Smells like a grape soda. This is very exciting. As a fan of grape soda. Yeah, that's a solid grape. Like a little bit of an aftertaste to it for sure. Do I think it would be good with codeine syrup? I mean, that's a whole different list. And let me pull up that. Look. No, because you shouldn't be abusing codeine cough syrup. It will get in the way of the things you want to do in your life. And you shouldn't do that. That said, yeah, this probably mixed pretty well. This would probably work in that on that. It might be too much grape, like it might be a little too much but yeah, no, this is nice. It's not overly harsh. It's a decent flavor. Let's get it on the list here. It's better than Ghost Warhead's Sour Watermelon. It is better than Ghost Phase Pop. Pardon me. It's better than Redcon 1 Vice City. It's better than Bucked Up Energy Gym and Juice. It is better than the Ghost EDC Electric Limeade. It's better than the Fast Twitch Glacier Freeze. It's better than the Ghost Strawbango Margarita. It's better than NOS Zero. It's better than C4 Ultimate WWE Ruthless Raspberry. Is it better or worse than Rockstar Tangerine Mandarin Guava Strawberry? Man, the TMGS is a hell of a flavor. I'm glad that they make it. I haven't drank one recently. I have been living at the number 1 and number 2 positions of this. You know what? Let's get this on the list and we can talk about it for a minute before we really get going. This is good, but it's not. It's our new number 18. It is not quite as good as Rockstar Tangerine Mandarin Guava Strawberry. And thus, 179 drinks on the list. And there you have it. Oops. Welch's Grape. Whoops. Okay. But I have been pretty much living off of the number 2 drink, the C4 Ultimate Fruit Punch. I was drinking one of those a day. Started feeling bad. Like, started just like my stomach, and I don't know, like, hey, you get to a certain age and your stomach is going to, you're not going to have the iron stomach that maybe you did 20 years ago or something like that. And so, like, I've been a little bit more I've been noticing a little bit more like a heartburn, not quite, like a sour stomach, like from eating garbage, it turns out. And this C4 Ultimate Fruit Punch is fucking powerful. It is full of all kinds of weird shit. It is basically pre-workout. And it was just, like, especially on mornings when I wouldn't have time for breakfast. So, like, the first thing hitting my stomach is an energy drink. Like, that's, sometimes that would leave me a little like, ugh. And so, more recently, I bought a case of the number 1 drink, Rockstar Zero Fruit Punch, which is only 160 milligrams of caffeine. So it's almost half as strong as the C4s. And, that's like, I'd say that's noticeable, I guess I would say. But it's clean. the Rockstar Fruit Punch is a clean up and down, and like, everything's fine. And you can just drink one of those and it doesn't matter. You can pour that on an empty stomach and who cares? It's totally fine. And so I've switched to those, and we'll see. Maybe I got to, cycle on, cycle off, and see how that goes. But yeah. So I'm back to drinking the number 1 drink. Or sometimes drinking, is it 240? Okay, yeah. So these are 240. The recoveries are 160. That's what it was. 240 is all right. But yeah, so I have been drinking Rockstar Zero Fruit Punch lately, and that's been solid. It's number 1 for a reason. There was a while there that I was drinking so much of the C4 that I was like getting in my head like, man, maybe this is the real number 1, because this shit is high powered, and it's definitely like more. It's got a lot more going on than Rockstar, but this was a good reminder of like, no, the Rockstar Zero Fruit Punch is number 1 for a reason. It's the greatest. It's the greatest. And yeah, that's my energy drink journey. I don't know, like I'm occasionally just not even drinking one. Like, the thing I'm noticing is I'm not really, well, I'm still getting some caffeine because I'll still have like a diet cola or something later in the day or with dinner or something. So it's rare that I have like 0 caffeine in a 24-hour period, but I do find that, like on these days when I don't drink an energy drink and just kind of get into my day, like I can do it. It's not, as long as I have like a decent amount of sleep, I don't even really notice. I bet if I went 2 days with it, that might be weird. Maybe you'd get a withdrawal headache or something at that point. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out one of these days. All right. We've ranked the energy drinks. Now it's time to rank 8-bit Nintendo games. This is episode 63. Let me get the list up for you. Oh, that's a long list. 387 games on the list. Originally, it was looking like today's stream would not occur because of some other stuff I had lined up, but then a bunch of logistical failings happened in the middle of all that, and thus I am here. Which is cool. I'm excited to be here and excited to do this, but I was looking forward to leaving the house and seeing an unreleased video game that I'm very interested in. that will remain nameless, I suppose. Mega Man 2 tops our list all the way down here. Raid 2020. The list is continuing to take shape. It's an interesting, evolving, living document. I've been spending some time looking at different like file hosts and document hosts and stuff, and ways to kind of just publish this list in a cleaner way, sort of like the way the energy drink list is published. If you go to energy.guard.bike, you can see the energy drink list. And if you go to patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann, I guess patreon.guard.bike, I think I also will get you there if I'm not mistaken. You can sign up. You can join the advisory panel today, and you can influence this list as many of these folks have. And yeah, so I don't know. It's let's head over here and get into the list. This is a interesting situation that Bunty Hoven turned me on to, that I simply was not aware of. And I couldn't decide when, if I should do one and then the other, and like spread them out or whatever. So instead, I decided not to. But anyway. Yeah, no, it would have been, yes, it would have been nice to get out and see some games and check some stuff out. Seeing some unreleased stuff. I think there's some more. We're definitely not done with like events for games for the year. I know that much, but yeah, I was hoping to make it out for this. Anyway, that game shall remain nameless. Anyway, here's Indiana Jones. From Taito. Claim the sacred cross of Coronado off the coast of Portugal. Dude, I don't remember anything about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I'm pretty sure I saw it. I remember liking it. I was not a big Temple of Doom guy. I maybe just too young for it or something. My dad was into Temple of Doom. Okay, this is looking good. Let's play it. Finally, a moment to relax. Something prevented. It's Dad's Grail diary. This is like weirdly peppy takes on the Indiana Jones music. A telegram from Marcus. The Cross of Coronado is on a ship called the Coronado. Wow. I must get the cross. Okay, I have to... What is with like a small handful of games deciding that the select button is a way to select things? What is wrong with people? One of these goons has the cross. So like a double tap to run, like that's huh. We got a punch and a kick. If we do a running kick, he will kick. We can crouch and do a crouching attack here. If I hold up and punch, it seems like he's putting a little more into it. Also, the way that this screen moves around because you're on a boat is fucking crazy. This is This is really insane. I'm really kind of shocked at this decision to make the screen swim around like this. If I can catch him with the running kick, it seems like it does him in one go, even if I'm no longer running. Like, it seems like if I do a running kick, the kick afterwards will also be good. But if I have to stop and just like duke it out with them normal style, then it's like, look at all these kicks I gotta land. Very athletic, Dr. Jones. All right, I guess that's got to be the guy that has it, right? Because there's... Oh, wait, 0. And there's still multiple dudes. Kick him, fucker! I don't go in these doors elevator action style, do I? No. All right, this guy looks different. And now I'm not in control anymore. He just holds it up and then he runs and jumps off the fucking boat. Figured it was safer to jump than stay on board while it smuggled TNT. This belongs in a museum. Maybe he's learned something. Marcus never made it. I don't know. I'm do the things in the order we got them. Oh, it's a picture of the Grail, but it's been scrambled. If they make me do a fucking picture, oh no. This is a jam, but we're dead. Dude, this... Don't... Like, you don't need to ruin your video games with this shit. No game was ever improved by putting a sliding picture puzzle in it. There was a time when I don't know that I would even say that I was good at these things. It was more just like, I don't know. I feel like I was solving them in some games, but hope I can remember what it looks like. Who can see? He looks so mad. All right, some Lost Temple in the Valley of the Crescent Moon. Nearest Kinder Tarun. I mean, again, let's let's take on these tasks in the order received. Oh God. Well, I'm sure this is going to be just easy. Oops. I was trying to crouch, but okay. No idea where I'm going. No idea how to get there. We've been here. No, we must not have been because this door is closed. Oh. Nope, that's not something I can interact with. This is, like... This game is really interesting and also not good. Like, this combat. Ah, the whip. Okay. Can't open doors with the whip out. Oh, wait, no, this door just doesn't open. Okay. The range on the whip sucks. It's so specific. Fuck. Back to this insane boat. I mostly just want to see the whip work. Dude, that's terrible. It's such a... I mean, you have to hit it at the crack of the... You know, where the whip cracks. Which, hey, is how whips work. Oh, man. Such a choice they made with this camera stuff. It's so good. It's so fucked. Whee! If I never go to Venice, then I never lose the diary. Right? I better get him out of that tank. I don't know. If he's in a tank, he's probably doing okay. Uh-oh. Oh, sure. Dude, what the fuck? Clown tank. What? Never go to Venice. It's the answer. What? Okay, only in the leap from cup will he prove his worth. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're done looking at that. Hey, you know what? Good on him. Hove! How am I going to pick the true holy grail from all of these? There's a lot of them. Oh, okay. I was like, well, these don't even look different. Well, yeah, I guess they do. The lips and stuff on the... But these all, like, from the movie, wasn't the Grail like a very plain, like, wooden cup? I mean, you know, hey, you got to make a video game. And we didn't do the sliding puzzle this time, so who could say? Go, Indy. You got like a 1 out of, yeah. I was going to say, like a 1 out of 12 chance. Oh, game over. What a piece of shit. Like, they don't even... Shouldn't my flesh bubble off or something cool like that? Instead of just like, you chose poorly. Game over. Fuck off, dick. So I guess the path through it, like, wouldn't the path of, you would have to go to Venice to at least see the sliding puzzle, even if you didn't finish it. But then your journal gets stolen, so you'd have to go get the diary back. And then go. I guess this is probably the get your diary back level from the looks of things. This is really interesting because of the variety. The problem with it is that very little of it is actually good. Like, it just doesn't feel good. The combat in the levels like this and the boat level, like, the combat feels terrible. Oh, look at that. And having a sliding puzzle be a meaningful aspect of this. And I wonder, like, if you complete the sliding puzzle, maybe your diary doesn't get stolen. Is that the reward? Because you could kind of make out the cup and the features of the cup without solving the puzzle. If you needed to. And then this sequence, you know, like, do you have to rescue Marcus? What benefit is he really in the grand scheme of things? Speed run is 3 minutes and 4 seconds. It just goes there and guesses. Wow. Well, I wonder, I mean, you know, so that's like a thing you could monitor in memory. Like, you wouldn't even have to cheat necessarily to, well, depending on what you consider a cheat. But that's a situation where the correct answer would just be sitting in memory. There's some memory address that probably tells you, you know, in hex, like, what's the correct cup. And you could go that way, but yes, of course, you have to do everything to get some kind of good ending, I'm sure. This is neat. And I appreciate that it has a variety to it, but again, man, like, none of that stuff was like felt good or was like fun to do. You know? And so it's kind of like, here's a bunch of random mini games and they suck. And one of them is a sliding puzzle, you know? That's not... I was going to say that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable now, sliding puzzles. Just don't inflict that stuff on people these days the way that you used to. The way that games were willing to just be like, I don't know, here. Like that Simpsons game that was just like, by the way, here's a bunch of sliding puzzles. Like, fuck you. What? Yeah. Okay, so they're manipulating RNG to make sure that it's the right grail. Okay. Yeah, of course. Of course. It's the way all these video games. Well, that's why, you know, so a lot of emulators have options for like, what do you want the RAM values to be when the machine is first turned on? And different real hardware would handle that differently. It might zero it all out. It might be all Fs. It might be completely random garbage. And so in situations where you know what the startup state of the RAM is, I think that is what probably gives you the ability to manipulate it better. If the startup state on real hardware was like completely random, it would probably be harder to manipulate some of those values. It depends on how the game is made, you know, honestly. Like, it's going to be case by case no matter what. But this is intriguing, and also I don't like it. Scientifically speaking, it is fascinating, but so flawed across every part of its surface that it is an exciting game at a distance. This is a game you want to stay away from. This is a 10-foot pole. Like, hey, you would love to poke at this and look at it and go like, wow, look at the thing they made. Huh. They made this thing. But the minute you approach it, the minute you get close to it, every bit of the part where you have to play it is unfortunately subpar. You know, like, it's not terrible, you know, it's like the worst thing in the world or whatever, you know, but it's not a good game. It's certainly no Dusty Diamond's all-star softball. You know, it's no Mission Impossible, right? It's all right. It's no 8 Eyes. It's no Solstice, the quest for the Staff of Deimnos. It's no Dino Wars, destruction of Spondylaus. It's not as good as Airwolf, but we're getting close. Like, it's the Airwolf is just a real meat and potatoes ass game from I was gonna say last week, but earlier this week when we played Airwolf. That's right. 2 episodes this week because of all the logistical weird stuff that's happened, and having someone show up to watch the kids and all this. So this game is better than Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy is the first game I was reminded of, you know, upon thinking about it scientifically, simply because Dick Tracy is that kind of other game of like, hey, there's some real ambition here, but boy, oh boy, is it garbage to play. This is better than that. But not much better than that. In fact, is it better or worse than Mad Max? Maybe this is easier to narrow down than I thought it was going to be, because actually Mad Max is a better game. So we're really looking at this. Is it better or worse than Rainbow Islands? That's the final question. It's better. That's not a good port of Rainbow Islands. And so congratulations to your friends at Taito. You know, Square's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Oh, what is the actual, man? It's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. As our new number 251. The thing that happens is, I think it's because this list is so long that however Notion works, however Notion sucks, it is taking forever to copy it to the clipboard. And so when I go over here to paste, it is not done yet. I think that is where the issue stems from. And there you have it. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade from Taito. Now you might be asking yourself, why did I write Taito next to this? And it's because for some reason, there are 2 Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade video games. This one from your friends at Ubisoft, I guess. Also, this came out like 2 years later. This is 1993. The other one was 91. Exploring the caves. He looks so happy. $1993. Oh, look at that smooth climbing animation. What happened there? I punched that man and then he came back with a gun. NMS Software Limited did the port. As I understand it, this is a game that originated on the ZX Spectrum and then was ported to Game Boy. And so it's a weird double, quadruple whammy of a video game. Alright, I guess I gotta get past this guy. There's something like There's something about the speed and the way he moves and walks, and there's a smoothness to these frames that is insane. All the way back up here. Just getting knocked around left and right. This is a fucking mess. Oh, he'll shoot low too, huh? And so I kind of wish I could crawl this way and get behind this guy. Maybe I should shoot him and then go get the heart. Maybe I should fight him, then go get the heart. I like that if he walks into my fist, that counts. Ah! Ah! Hi. Is this Donkey Kong Jr. all of a sudden? No, it's not. I just don't walk off the edge and win. When time runs out, he loses the ability to hold on to the rope and just falls to his death. That's cool. Like, the music is not quite in time, and, you know, there's a lot happening here. It's a great walk animation, though. And the outline around all these characters. Just a great, 1993 NES game. This is true mastery of the platform. After all the years of making games for it, developers really came into their own. Let me jump over this garbage bag. Good pickup noise. It's the Cross of Coronado. No, no, get away. Fuck. All right. No. Must climb rope. Oh, great. You gonna climb that rope or no? No? Well, what the okay. I see. This is like fucking... This is like if Super Pitfall was a bad game. Like, it's less flickery and fucking weird. Oh, time. This is how I feel. Look at his face. How the fuck did this happen? How did this get made, man? 1993. This late in the cycle, someone thought this was a cool thing to port over and that it didn't need any work. The timer, like everything about it was just like, oh yeah, this is good. the year before the PlayStation came out in Japan, this game was released. I like that you just take fall damage in the air. Like if you fall too far, it's just like, nope, we see what you're doing. And you're going to take damage for daring to fall. Not when you land, because you might skillfully grab a rope. We want to keep you from doing anything that you might go, oh, this is cool. Look at me falling and grabbing this rope at the last minute. That was neat. We would hate for you to have a moment that you thought was neat in this game. Fucking catch the rope, you piece of shit. Great. Oh, it doesn't even reach. Like, okay, wait a minute. So you can punch on the rope, but it will not reach to the guys on the next rope over. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. We are playing Nintendo Entertainment System games on a Friday. A lot of people streaming games with whips lately. The whips are in. This game, sadly, not one of them. I'm gonna try this one more time. I don't mean 3 more lives. I mean, I'm gonna try this one more time. Okay. Good. For whatever reason, you can't climb this rope. So you think like, oh, it'd be cool to get up there and get that cross. I agree. But no, nope. Nope. Not that way. Good, yeah. We get knocked around a bunch. Oh, you son of a bitch! Okay, it's fine. Do I want to know what that explosion was? Boy, there sure is a whole lot of nothing this way, man. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Cool for a game with such limited time to put this hallway here. It's really... That's gameplay right there. I'm flabbergasted. Some might say it's a baffler that this game is not talked about more often when we talk about great games on the Nintendo Entertainment System. That's right. Fucking gun guy. Good. Going great for me. Just look at how smooth these animations are, though. Yep. Nailing it. I tried going that way. That was, yeah, there was a heart over there. Ugh. Nope, good. Just really wanted to fight this guy. You understand. So this is a landmine over here that kills me, right? Is that what that is? No. What? That's nothing. It's just nothing. Okay, great. Check it out. We put another thing here with nothing, little hallway with nothing in it. We thought that would be fun for you and your cool timer. Here's yeah, here's a little bit more of that. And then this is that hallway we went down with nothing. So this is fucked. I can't, there's nowhere for me to go. Over here. There's nothing over here. There's fucking nothing over here. All right. That's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The other one. So I think this is worse than the Taito Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which was already not super high on the list. It's worse than Gumshoe. It's worse than Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's no raid on bungling. Like I said, man. Super Pitfall is a better game. Ooh, but it might not be, but it's might be better than Last Nin. No. You'd be better off with a copy of Master Chu and the Drunkard Hugh. Ooh. Oh man. Is it better or worse than Dragon's Lair? It's a little worse. It's a little worse. I'd rather play Linus Spacehead and Treasure Island Dizzy. I'd rather play Quattro Adventure. But it's better than Major League Baseball. It's our new number 365. What the hell? Why are there two Indiana Jones games on this platform? Why were they both based on the same film? There you have it. Number 365. This is, I guess I'm spelling Ubisoft the modern way. Back then is when they were capitalizing the UBI and making it two words. But we'll leave it that way. Ah, man. That's an interesting, the weird little mystery there about that. Thanks to Bunty Hoven for making that happen. I don't, why would there be two of them? I mean, because one's a port and one, so it's kind of makes sense why, like, oh, we're going to port this over, or the Taito game is not good, but like it's ambitious, at least it's got something. Next up, a game from your friends at Capcom. I don't have a big familiarity. Conceptually I do, but like I don't know nothing about no Gargoyle's Quest 2, The Demon Darkness. I messed around with the first one, the Game Boy game, a little bit. Before Human Being appeared, there lived a monster named Firebrand. In a town of the Ghoul Realm, Etruria. Firebrand trained himself in the Warriors Training Center every day. But one day... Here is the Spectre's fingernail. Do we need to collect body parts of bad guys? I'm into collecting nails and ribs and eyeballs. You will have the honor of receiving this when recognized as a true warrior. It's time for you to go to the Warriors Training Center. I don't know that I expected this game to be like role-playing game style. Oh, wow. Huh. Jump, wing, life. Magic pow, fire. Strangers have been wandering around here recently. You need to become a true warrior as soon as possible. Just got Frankensteins hanging out over here. Won't you give up becoming a warrior? Don't waste your time. Give up. Oh. There is a warriors training center in this town. I'm aware. Mummy. No. Hi, Firebrand. You can go to the training center through the room on your right. Well, all right, good. Though I really want to be a true warrior, the training here is too hard for me. All right, now we're gaming. Whoa, what a weird jump. Oh, it's so slow. Oh, okay. I can kind of princess for a little bit. Oh. Oh, I see. Okay. Weird. I bet I could do... Huh. Yeah. But now what? Oh, okay. Great. Oh, maybe I would get that potion. Apparently not. Oh. Okay. Okay, that's like the end of the scroll there. Okay, I just need to jump better. When in doubt, jump better. I'm glad to see you are safe. The black light appeared suddenly and... Hurry to the king! Okay, geez. Oh. Just fucking blew that fucker away. I'm not really sure what these potions do. I'm just refilling my life, but I have full life, so who cares? Or like in the first level, it was like... Haha, there are spikes here. Oh, that did not refill my life at all. And I have 9 vials, it says. Can I use one? Is that can I use a... Huh. Like, this is the only sub-menu I have here, and it looks like it's just picking my ability to shoot. Good. Well, I still got 12, and I got 12 vials. And all the vials are back, so I guess I can get them again. And also, they're not vital to continue, like, moving forward, I guess. Well, maybe they are, actually. When I got when I got that vial in the first level, the level ended. So I don't know. I like his walk. It's good. It's a weird game. Like, it's kind of, you know, there's a... Oh, great. I can't get up there. Okay. Good. Great. It's going good. You can cling really low on stuff. Maybe that's what I need to do over there in that spot. But he can't, you know, it's like his rate of fire is really low. Like he's this dude sucks. But he's kind of awesome. Weird. It was like hard to attach to that. guess I got enough vials to get another heart, huh? Good. So this feels a little bit, I mean, to think about Capcom for a minute here, this game is kind of like Bionic Commando in that they have come up with like a really weird non-standard scheme for jumping and movement and navigating the landscape, and they've built a game around it, and it's really interesting. It's a cool, I don't know, like it's slow and weird and okay. Time to leave Etruria. Thanks, achievement. For letting me know. Like, are there random encounters out here? What? 24 vials. Life level 2. Oh, I might still need to talk to the king? Okay, maybe we should. Let's check. I'm gonna... Oh, he's gonna die. I thought he was gonna say something else. Take this Spectre's fingernail. Oh. West, King Bar. Guo. Can I sit here now? You know, I'm the... Okay, not that West. Hi. Whoa, that's some real slowdown right there. So that's almost like you're, hey, the helicopter met the truck, and you got in a random fight. Got in a fight out here. Oh. Like these the level design and the way they want you to kind of like stick to this wall and do this and like it's fucking neat. Oh boy. Fireman revived thanks to the password. Okay. I mean, some of the level design could be a little bit friendlier in terms of, some of these blind jumps they're wanting you to make, but if I had more wing, I could go up there. Oh! Wow. Whew. Sounds once ruled by King Bar, but what? The black light came over this town and we saw there was a lot of jism stains everywhere. I was struck by the light. Look at my ugly face. You gonna move out of the way so I can check out this house, or you're just there, huh? Is Maelstrom just life? Is that just how many lives I have? I mean, if there's other stuff I could spend... yeah. Well, great. I'm glad we made it in here. What a mess. Yeah. Capital of the Ghoul Realm is to the west. You have to break the barrier of King Bar to get there. Do you know the password? I'm here in this pit. This is where I live now. Oh, okay, and you're apparently dying as well. This guy seems pretty chill. There is a guy whose name is Samuel in the town Sidon, which lies northeast of this place. He may know how to release King Bar's magic again, but you will have to go through the River of Flames in Arnon to get there. Oh. Just in time for another king to finish. All over my gargoyle face. Well, okay, all right. Okay. So maybe I go to the north. Was it? Oh, geez. Was it northeast or northwest? Where the guy was who remembered. Hey, there's only gonna be so much stuff out there. Let's go find out. All right, we got another bridge up there. Maybe is that the River of Flames he was talking about me having to cover? Okay, we got one there too. What's up? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thanks. That's pretty handy. You're in the right place at the right time with that. The vitality increased. Oh, you! And we die. This is miserable right here. Hey, thanks for the armor, but I'm gonna go try looking around the other way and see if maybe there's another thing I got to do first that'll let me get a little more wing power or something, because that looks dicier than maybe you would do at this point with these abilities. I am. Hi. Well, so much for that. I guess I just gotta do it, huh? So I can't make it around to that dude. And I went in all these places. This guy sells lives. But I don't want to spend currency on lives because it seems like the penalty for running out of them is not that big of a deal. But I don't see anything else in here that's going to let me... I think I went in every building and talked to everybody. Oh, are the rocks the barrier? Are the rocks meant to be the barrier? So I guess I just gotta fucking make those jumps, huh? Jeez. I have to say I'm a little disappointed with this overworld because there's just kind of nothing in it. I don't know that that's really extending my distance that much by feathering it. So we landed before that rock that time. Yeah, it doesn't seem like you're getting any extra horizontal out of doing it this way. You just, you travel more diagonally. Uh-oh. Yeah, see, I fucked up there, but... Let's give this one more go, and then I think we're probably good either way. But this is like for a game that has been fairly easy so far. This is like a weirdly difficult kind of jumping thing all of a sudden. Not weirdly, I mean, hey, it's the timing on it is a little tricky. And your ability to see the action sucks. Yeah, that's not that bad. It's just they could do better with like there's just some blind jumps in there that are a little funky. Oh, but also that's the whole thing, so maybe that's fine. Okay. Is there somebody here who knows how to do the thing with the magic? Sit him! They say there is the precious stone called the Night Drop in the forest. Yes, the Magic Buster can break rocks, and the Magic Tornado enables you to fly anywhere. Oh, well, yeah, okay, that's... Okay. What? King Bard? Ah!
I want the gremlin stick. Give me the gremlin stick. You gotta give me the gremlin stick.
All right, we're off to Gaza. What? Don't tell me Firebrand's gonna do a genocide. Come on. You, tell me the password. No? They say a Venus of the night fell from the sky a long time ago. She was looking for some materials. Well, you want even more money for it. Starting to think there isn't anything to spend these vials on other than lives. Multi-level dungeons. Y'all got a gremlin stick? Thank you. What do we need? The Candle of Darkness. Presumably, if we can find that, that will open that teleporter. I'm up here now. Oh. Okay. So they said the night drop was to the east. Great, great. More of this. Oh, no. Ah. Fuck. Everything fucking respawned. You dickheads. Oh, my God. Okay. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. Yeah. This is, this game is cool, but, what's down here? Anything? No. Oh, good. Oh. Like I said, there's like a little bit of Bionic Commando in here, just because of their dedication to this like wall stick float thing. I think is really cool, and it reminds me of, you know, just the way that those levels were so tightly designed around your arm. Fuck. Stay up there. So these fuckers just keep coming, huh? Sure up, I'm going the right way. Man, okay. Well, that was just an extra life. Gotten cocky. Now we're down here taking damage. Okay, I'll take it. Whatever happened there, I'm all for it. No? Nothing out here? Just falling back down to... Yeah, okay. Nope, fuck that up. This game is really cool. I'm coming around on the speed of it, honestly. Like, it is... His movement is so slow. And initially, that was a big turnoff, but I don't know. I think it's, like, the levels feel well designed in a way that, you know, you don't feel like you need to be going significantly faster. Oh, good. Okay, well, anyway. That is Gargoyle's Quest 2. Oh, so I have to go across that. Better cross that river again. interesting. That's a. I always thought because the first one was only on Game Boy, right? So it's I just never really. I don't know that I knew that this game existed. And then there's like a SNES game, isn't there? But really neat mechanic. The wall cling and the float on their own wouldn't necessarily be that big of a deal, right? It's not like, other games haven't had similar ideas, but this game is so directly built around your skillful use of those two things. That I think it makes it work a lot better. And the cling is very friendly. You can jump off of it, so you can just like jump up walls without any trouble. And that's always fun, not having to like triangle jump or whatever, just being able to work your way up a wall. That stuff's really cool. That stuff is yeah, and again, it's cool because the levels are built the way they are. Because so much of it is, I mean, even, hey, when you get to that first area where you have to jump high, it's very much like a walk in, and like, oh, if you didn't get the jump height upgrade from the king, then you're going to look at that and go, oh, well, I can't even fucking do this. And so that's really neat. The way that comes together. I mean, like it presents itself as a role-playing game and gives you the menus of a role-playing game a little bit here and there, but then it's just like, oh, by the way, it's this kind of deliberately paced side scroller. I'd be really curious to see what the other, because you start with fire magic. I wonder what the other, I assume like tornado or something, if you get the other magics and what that does to you, like what the upgraded state of the gargoyle is. That's a cool game. That's a really cool game. Certainly better than Color a Dinosaur. Is it better or worse than Dash Galaxy and Alien Asylum? Which has a, it's like got that long jump. It's got a lot going for it, but Gargoyle's Quest 2 is probably a better game. It's better than Ghostbusters 2. It's better than RoboCop 2. It's better than Puss in Boots: Perrault's Great Adventure. It's a better game than Kid Clown in Nightmare World. It's better than Jaws, currently number 187 on our list. For a few more minutes, anyway. It's better than Hoops. It's better than Wampum. Gargoyle's Quest 2 is better than Die Hard. It's better than Wrecking Crew. It's better than the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle. It's better than Spot the video game. Is Gargoyle's Quest 2 better or worse than Low G Man, the Low Gravity Man? Yeah, it's a better game than that. It's better than Karnov. It's better than Strider. It's better than TMNT2, the arcade game. It's better than Trojan. It's better than Shatterhand. It's better than Tecmo World Wrestling. Man. It's better than Commando. It's better than Kung Fu. It's better than Kickle Cubicle. Is it better than Ninja Gaiden 1? It's a weird one. No, it's not. It's our new number 25. Hell of a game. And like just again, like cool in really interesting ways. Like just like in ways that are, it's not just like, hey, check out this platformer that's really good, or you know, hey, this action game has really good music. Like it's got a very specific, they're going for a very specific thing here, you know? Again, the pace, the abilities you have, like all of that stuff, the way that stuff comes together is super impressive for the platform. And I think that's the stuff that sets it apart. You know, did it need the, because again, the overworld is so, you know, like there's just not that much in it. You know, could you have tightened that up a little bit? Maybe, but I think it helps give the game a sense of place as well. You know, like they give it those role-playing game trappings without necessarily giving you a lot of RPG stuff to do. But going into those towns and talking to people and getting a sense of where you need to go next, and then having, you know, where you go next suddenly erupt into a side-scrolling level, you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be a level here. Oh, all right, okay. Like that's really neat. And I think that that's a good use of those kind of tropes, as well. So I that stuff comes together in a really nice way, and thus, Gargoyle's Quest 2 is our new number 25. All right, next up, this is Alex and Greg wanted to see this one, and who am I to deny them? We've got to play them all, folks. And that brings us to a game called Roger Clemens MVP Baseball. What is this music? Looks like this was a sculptured software joint. Let's there's 2 revisions of this. Let's see if the other one has retro achievements. Doesn't look like it. Who would make retro achievements for Roger Clemens MVP Baseball? Personally endorsed, according to this screen here. Endorsed with permission by Roger Clemens. From your friends at Sculpture Software. This has a real computer game vibe to it. This game came out on 16-bit platforms, I believe. And that was, I think, the lead platform. So I suspect this is like a, oh yeah, we got to kind of make this too. Good drumming. So what? Clemens was on the Red Sox, so he would be American League East, I guess, right? He'd be a Boston Hornet, perhaps. These are great fake teams. The Detroit Wheels, New York Rebels, the Baltimore Eagles, the Cleveland Tomahawks. Yeah, you fixed good going. You fixed the problem with the name of the Cleveland. Oh wait. I just want to see these team names. The Oakland Bashers. Okay, yeah, I mean that's the Texas Cowboys. The Kansas City Kings instead of the Royals. That's not bad. The Chicago Redbirds instead of the White Sox. And then the Cubs are the Swords. The St. Louis Commandos. And the Mets are the Buffaloes. The Montreal Lumberjacks. Okay. Quakes. The Los Angeles Apaches. Yeah, let's double down on this. Let's really... Well, I guess let's be the Boston Hornets. We'll play against the San Francisco Quakes. I was right. They put Clemens on the Boston Hornets. Mound. Let me get Sheriff in there. Clack is my DH. Oh, right. Yeah. That was the thing this game did. I was like, there's some fucked up perspective thing this game does. And I can't remember what it is. And it's all of this shit. Out. 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 So it creates a weird situation where, depending on the camera angle, that's terrible. They have made horrible mistakes. From this camera angle, up and throws home. From this camera angle, up and throws to second. What? Just run it all the way in. Oh, it will not let me run it in. Out. Out. Oh, I was a little sliding mini game there. I was able to dodge the ball there. Oh. Out. Out. This feels so sluggish. Like the latency between me hitting the button and the swing happening just... Out. 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 doubled me off. This sucks. Like there's neat things about the game visually, and obviously like all the different camera angles and stuff. But the way the game, that's being a throw home instead of just like having consistent D-pad controls about which base you're throwing to, makes for a terrible experience. Couldn't fit him saying foul onto the cartridge. This is a good reminder that a lot of baseball games didn't have any music or cool things happening in them. The way a lot of the Japanese developed games of this era did. Just silence. And to hit some of these fastballs, I feel like I need to swing as the ball is leaving the pitcher's hand. So when he throws change-ups, you're fucked. It's just... They could have put organ noises. They could have put... like, there's audio they could have had here. But they didn't. Out. 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 Like I have to push the way that like you would in every other baseball game, you would be pushing that direction to throw to third. But because it's the way the camera is positioned at any given moment, it becomes... it's all backwards. It's all backwards. Out. Oh, just like a rusty fucking gate, these swings, man. Oh! Out. Out. I'll say this, though, about the fielding and stuff like that. Like, it is, you do have a little bit more control, and the way he got smaller there was really good. Out. We were playing Tecmo baseball last time, and just the way some of that stuff worked. Like, I feel like the players move fast enough in the field, and like you are able to catch the ball and do what you need to do. Pitcher should have grabbed that one. Like that camera angle, like where... Out. Can any of you make some noise? Anyone? Are any of you are you any of you people? Hello? Hello? Help! Oh, we're calling that fair, huh? Oh, haha, you threw home instead of to second base. Good going, nerd. Oh, yeah, good. Yep.
Out.
Not having control of the pitcher ever is a little frustrating. It seems like you'd be able to grab some of those. It's Roger Clemens on the mound, and he's tired.
Out.
He's off cycle right now, and it's okay. There's a little bit of music there for a half second.
Out.
Oh.
Out.
Jay Clack. Yeah, the swing is really not responsive, and so swinging at some of the faster pitches, like accounting for the timing and accounting for the latency, like you are not well equipped to hit some of those pitches.
Out.
But I'm pretty sure the story here is I want to say this was primarily a 16-bit game, and that they did do this NES version.
Out.
Slowest throw to first you've ever seen. Oh. That's very fast.
Out.
All right, let's do one more at bat here. One more set at bats. And then yeah. Dude, the swing, it's crazy how bad this swing feels.
Out.
It's just fucked. It is like ruins this entire game.
Out.
Doesn't look like I can bunt either. Ask the Rocket. Oh my god. His The Rocket uniform is really good too. Learn to read the pitcher. Look for changeups and curves before you swing. Sorry, Rocket. The game isn't good enough for that.
Out. Out.
Mix up the speed and location of your pitches to throw off a batter's rhythm. Thank you, the Rocket. It's interesting that you can get like pitch count.
Out. Out.
Nice and quiet. Good.
Out.
Dumbass. Okay. Roger Clemens, a baseball legend. Rumor has it, to this day, if you go into a Dunkin' Donuts and say something nice about Roger Clemens, or just something generically racist inside the city of Boston, they'll give you a free donut. I know. I know. It's not as good as Gargoyle's Quest 2. It's no pinbot. This is a bad baseball game. I mean, hey, if the swinging is bad, like if the swinging is fucked, what else do you got? I mean, what they do have is fielding. I think the fielding actually works reasonably well here, despite the perspective change. And I think what they do to the controls is a crime, just a straight travesty. But in terms of actually fielding the ball and having time to get to a ball and, you know, either grab it or dive for it or whatever, like, you feel like you can get there on a lot of the, you know, when it's moving its way through the infield. Like, you feel like you have a lot of opportunities as a second baseman or whatever, or as a shortstop to just like grab a ball, get your hands on it, catch it, whatever. And like, that's okay. I don't know. In some cases, that's better than, you know, Tecmo baseball. But again, so many of the other aspects of this game fall apart that, you know, it's, gosh, I mean, as much as bases loaded is a fucking piece of shit, you know, this game is notably worse than that. You'd be better off with a copy of Track and Field, that's for sure. It's no NES play action football. You'd be better off with a copy of Spelunker. Base Wars has more going on. But we're kind of getting there. Let's see. It's no Battletoads. It's worse than Tecmo Baseball. It's worse than Paperboy. It's no Yo-Noid. It is less intriguing than a copy of Greg Norman's Golf Power. It's certainly no Puss in Boots' Perro's Great Adventure. It's not as good as Werewolf the Last Warrior. It is Sub-Renegade. It's not as good as Magic Johnson's Fast Break. But it's better than Mario's Time Machine. Roger Clemens MVP baseball is not as good as Wheel of Fortune or Total Recall. It's no Hattress. RoboCop 2 is a better game. Hudson Hawk is a better game. Ghostbusters 2 is not a better game. This is our new 305. It's Roger Clemens, or as you might know him, Mr. 305. I went to school. I can't remember even who it was at this point, but I remember I went to. This probably would have had to been junior high, late 80s. I'm trying to. There was a kid who was just a huge Roger Clemens fan. Didn't really seem to give a shit about the Red Sox in general, but was just like, yeah, man, rock it. You're like, well, okay. It's weird. There's certainly players I like in baseball more than the teams that they are on, but also, I don't know. You kind of follow the team or you don't. I don't know. I guess that's like, I don't know. I don't remember who it was now, but I remember going to Japan and it was Ichiro. It was Ichiro. And in Japan, they were showing Mariners games on Japanese TV, but they were not showing them live. And instead, they had cut the games down to only show plays that Ichiro was involved in. His at-bats, if he caught a ball, if he was, if he was part of a play, they had just cut the game down to here's what Ichiro did. With maybe like one or two other highlights for the game to be like, then some fucking generic dude hit a fucking home run, I guess. Who cares? I imagine they're doing that for Dodgers games now. I don't know. Congratulations to Roger Clemens for everything. All right. I'm looking at the time remaining and trying to make a judgment call here. We're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it. Ryan wanted to see this one. Here it is. It's a video game. It's called Deja Vu. It's one of these goddamn games. A nightmare comes true. You're waking from a stupor that feels like a chronic headache after a week in Vegas. You notice your right palm is covered with dried blood, but you can neither see nor feel any wounds. You feel a sharp pain on your left forearm. Rolling up the sleeve, you find a tiny puncture on your arm. Has a doctor injected me with a medicine? Then you realize you can't remember who you are. You have no idea where you are and why you're here. You have no memory whatsoever. It's a light brown trench coat that matches your trousers. You feel something in the pocket of the coat. Open the pocket. Well, okay, so how do I want to examine... Okay, there we go. Is it... Do we open the wallet? Private access card, penthouse, seagull. All right. Take the gun 1. I need to take something in here. Oh, come on. Oh, apparently my name was Ace Harding. What does continue even do here? Just, all right. Games that kind of force you into those sorts of situations, like, oh, you got to open it before you can go out that way. Like, I don't have a lot of patience for that. I think I'm opening a medicine cabinet. I don't know. What Let me wash up. Like they want you to skip around the UI to try to make it move a little bit faster, but sometimes the way it snaps to some of the targets is a little finicky in its own right. Seltzer. You're left to wonder, like, how much of this is modified due to Nintendo being Nintendo. I think I'm talking to a door. What? Oh, leave is like leave something behind, huh? Okay. Okay. Doghouse Riley. Huh? Puff McMuffin. It's a telephone. Like this, you know? Like, all right, fine. Let me open the door. Oh, it's locked. Another great example of, like, I have it in my wallet, but because I haven't taken it into my main inventory, like, this, it's just, at some point, it's just like, okay, you're just a dick. This game is just a fucking dick. Okay, fine, I'll take it all. I guess I gotta take it all, huh? Oh boy. Let me open this body. No, not the pocket. Oh, key 2. All right, we can get into the other building. We need the bomb blast suit. All right, let's go this way, I guess. The audio I find really grating. Man, I just... No, can't use it. Gotta move. Oh. What kind of room is this? A hot one. Sodium pentothal. What has it been used for? Medrazine. Perhaps it's a tennis chair. Capsules. So there was a little bit of medicine in there. I thought maybe I could get some. So we went up to the third floor on the fire escape. We were on the second floor before. We were downstairs. Oh, we were on the first floor because whatever. Fuck it, man. Let's go to the sewers. This fake Mission Impossible music is amazing. Oh, wait, I was on the first floor? Okay. So there's just no way back in the elevator once you do that? Is it just... Why do so many of these buildings have elevators into the sewer is what I want to know. No. I don't know what I'm doing, man. What do I think I'm doing? I don't know. Oh, that was the manhole. Okay, no, we're done with the manhole. Hi. Oh. Just goes to show, man. You think you're in trouble? You're like, oh, I don't have my memory, and I found a dead body. Hey, I've got this puncture wound in my arm. Don't fucking go to the cops. That doesn't sound so bad. They are no more coins. It's okay, I got a 20. He said to take the one on the bottom right. He said, take what you want. Fuck this. Fuck this. Use coin. Yeah. Just take what you want. Oh, okay. And then you take the end paper. And then that costs me a coin. Some funny goings on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Pete's All Night Gun Palace. It's a great name. Hey. Tonight's special. Thanks for the 20 bill. Didn't I already have a gun? Oh well. Yeah, I already have gun 1. Now I've got gun 3. Way more powerful than gun 1. Joey's hitman has been looking for you. What? Ah. Ah. Well, fine then. You're gonna be a jerk about it. It's Peoria Street. It's still Peoria Street. This is a yellow cab. Yeah, no, the guy's waiting in my office. I know. Oh, hi. Oh, I'm gonna give it to him. No. Deja Vu is really interesting on the platform. It doesn't belong here. It never did. But at the same time, I think, people who rented that game and ended up encountering it and encountering that style of adventure game, really, probably had a great time with it. It's just not there's so much that gets in your way in terms of the interface and all that stuff. So I guess you could look at that two ways. One, it's amazing that they were able to get this game on the platform at all and come up with an interface that allowed you to play that game. That they were able to pull it off at all is probably cool. But man, this is not a game you want to play here. You want to play this game somewhere where you've got a mouse for starters. And even then, playing this game on Mac or anything like that, some of these early kind of graphical adventures or graphical takes on the text adventure just got in its own way. It would have been better if you could just type. Being able to just type okay, open door. Let me just get through. Let me just get moving. And this is something that, plenty of text adventures did this as well, right? Where it's just oh, you can't take it unless you've taken it. You can't use it unless you're holding it. You need to do this first before you can do this. Instead of just hey, you fucking know what I'm trying to do. Help a brother out. As the genre progressed, I think they got a little bit better about that sort of stuff. But again, a game. It's a game with a mouse on the Mac. It's a little bit better to play. I know this version. I think we'd have to compare, but audio visually, this version is probably a bit better, cleaner in color. All those sorts of things that a lot of Mac games were not back then at all. And so it's a noble effort for them to try to put this style of game on the NES, and this game, the actual puzzle that you're solving here and the actual steps you go through, it's good. It is a good game, but also fighting the interface on the NES every step of the way really sucks the life out of it. And that's a shame. This would be a better game with a better interface. It kind of comes down to just, I think, how much you're willing to put up with that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I would be curious to see what this game, how the writing was different on the Mac. Because I'm guessing, the little bits and pieces of, clean up around some of the dialogue that would probably to fit, did they make changes to it to appease Nintendo? To kind of lighten the load a little bit on some of the hey, you shot a guy, hey, you did this, are there like what changes were made. But at the same time, it's a hard-boiled detective style adventure, and so they can only do so much. The number of uses of the word medicine or that it was seltzer sitting on the bar. I wonder if that is whiskey or something in the other version of the game, because they didn't want to mention alcohol directly. It's a tough game, like it is, you gotta give it credit for the game that it is, and the adventure that it sends you on, and the freedom that you have in that space, even if that freedom just leads to a game over. The willingness to let you shoot yourself, the willingness to let you fucking shoot other people in the game, like the willingness to let you shoot whoever you want to shoot, really, is what we're talking about here. It never really works out quite the way you want it to, but hey, it's a classic adventure game, and you kind of have to give it some amount of credit on that note. But the interface really doesn't do it any favors. It's frustrating to get through. Like the interface snapping and that sort of stuff. Like when it happens, you go, "Oh, this is convenient." Let's say 60% of the time, but 40% of the time, it's bringing me somewhere I wasn't trying to go, and now and you're fighting the interface ever so slightly for the entire game, and that's very frustrating. So, I think ultimately it's one of those games that you look at and go, this game has no business being on this platform. It's really cool that they did it because it has no business being on the platform. And that's going to make it divisive, right? It's easy to look back on it now, decades later, and go, shit, dude, if they had done this, and this, if they had cleaned up the interface like this, because, we've just seen so many modern takes on interfaces and things they could have done to smooth that over. Even something as simple as just like, let me hold down the B button and move the D-pad to select my verb. Just like little bits and pieces of things they could have done to, from a shortcut perspective, to make it less of you just moving a fucking mouse cursor around at a set speed and like, that's the drag. That's where I punch out. That's where I just go like, oh, look, man, it's great that this game exists. I played quite a ways into it at one point, years ago. But it's just not quite there. But it's it's an admirable attempt, and I think that they did some cool stuff by bringing this here. They could have just done more, or yeah, and of course, obviously, on a controller with more buttons, you would get a lot of benefit from that. There are different things that they could do in terms of cycling verbs, or just, cycling through your inventory pages, shoulder buttons to toggle through the pages, or whatever, right? There's once you upgrade it to the next generation, that controller is so much more capable. That it's easy to see ways it could have been improved, but obviously that's not, hey, that's not the platform, so that kind of doesn't matter. Like, yeah, it could have had SNES mouse support. That would have been cool, but that's not where we're at. So where are we at is the question. I think it's a worse game than Maniac Mansion. Why don't we start there? I think it's worse than Nightshade as well. You know, like it's no space shuttle project, but it's like right in here. It's better than Solstice, the quest for the staff of Deimos, but it's no space shuttle project. It's better than 10-Yard Fight. It's better than okay. Let's think it through. It's better than Jaws, but not in my heart. That's the sticking point we're at right now. Is scientifically, yes, this is a better game than Jaws. But if this were my personal list, Deja Vu would be way lower. It's better than Jaws. It's better than Donkey Kong 3. It is better than Nintendo's Baseball. Better than that version of Spy Hunter. Where in Time and Carmen Sandiego is another interesting one. I think this is better than that, but not by much. It's not as good as Eight Eyes. It's not as good as Eight Eyes, but it's better than Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. It's better than Hide Lied, though. That, again, that's a, you know, if this was a personal list, Hide Lied would be kicking this game's ass. So yeah, it is better than Where in Time is Carmen. I think Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego just has a better interface, but also it's a very different type of game. You know, it's again similar in interface because, you know, you're looking at like, hey, this is what we're trying to do. You know, like approximate a computer game here. It's better than Anticipation. It's better than Gyromite. It's better than that Port of Kicks. It's better than 10-Yard Fight. It's our new number 179. All right. It's no Eight Eyes, this Deja Vu. Everyone says so. Okay. And so it's our new number 179. Our list is now 392 games strong. And I believe I have figured out the problem with the way Notion handles copying and pasting and clipboard stuff. Is you just have to wait while it takes forever to copy to the clipboard, which is a strange concept unto itself. And there you have it, our new number 179, Deja Vu. That's a good spot for it. It's a decent game. You know, we still have hundreds of games to add, so I wonder where this kind of nets out, but like, it's definitely like a firm top half of the list kind of game, just in terms of ambition versus execution and all of that, you know. Yeah. One game we did not get to this time around that we will save in the tank for next week. Michael wanted to see a little game called Bonk's Adventure, which came out on the NES. I don't know if that version of the game is any good, but I love Bonk's Adventure. Conceptually, I love Bonk's Adventure. So I'm curious to see how that one came out. Probably not great. Just gonna say probably not great. Bonk's Adventure loses a lot when you don't have the TurboGrafx turbo controllers, because you could just make the spinner go and try to land it, and that was pretty awesome. Good batch of games this time out, nice and varied. 2 Indiana Jones games. We might be done with Indiana Jones now. I think those might be the last 2 Indiana Jones games on the platform. And you know, one more baseball game. There are still a lot of baseball games left. I'm thinking. So when I think about special episodes and how they should be set up, sometimes I'm thinking of them as like, oh, these big games maybe deserve a more shine. But sometimes it is just straight up like, what if we just got all the baseball out of the way? And, you know, people who like those games can watch that and see where the baseball games go. And if you're not into it, you're not into it. I get it. So I don't know, but the bonus episode stuff, like I said earlier in the week, it's just the kids have not been sleeping well, and so the idea of trying to stream at night while occasionally having to like look over at the camera and maybe like dash and run upstairs because of vomiting is a thing. So I'm trying to preserve the carpet upstairs as much as I can, and streaming gets in the way of that for sure. So hopefully things will all settle down and we'll all be fine, and then we can knock the some of that other stuff out for sure. And yeah, big week for the list. Of course, this is 2 days after the previous episode, just because of the logistics of how this week went. I'll be back on Tuesday with the podcast. If you want to shape the list, if you want to shape the order of games, do it. Head on over to patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann and support this science. Tell your friends that it is time to put their money where their mouths, where their science lives, and fund the sciences. Patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann. I will see you soon. Have a good one.